So this is the video that you were supposed to get today, and I'm sitting here doing a very basic edit on it, and I don't feel confident about it at all. There was a level of magic in the last video that I could just feel as I was filming it, and I didn't get that with this video. I want to make sure that I deliver on the things that you all ask for, because I want you to trust me as a creator, business person, human being. So I'm gonna pop up a few times, this version of me is gonna pop up a few times, and by the end it's all gonna make sense. We're also gonna get pretty real at the end of this video too, so let's go. So this video is called The Two Ugly Truths of Working and Streaming or Making Content, right? Really, there's a few ugly truths, but we're gonna not cover all of them because that would be a 12-hour video. One of the ugly truths that we're gonna focus on for this video is that time management is either your biggest ally or your worst enemy. And this seems like I'm gonna go into like a productivity video, right? I don't actually typically like those because I find them to be really fluffy, but I would love to talk a little bit about schedules, because whether you are working 9 to 5, you're working from home because there's a pandemic, or you are a full-time content creator, you really have to live and die by your schedule, because your schedule is going to make sure that you get all of the things done in your day to move you in the direction of the goals that you want to achieve in your life. But I want to do something a little different for you here. I don't want this video to be fluffy at all. So I'm going to take you back to the time where I was working and also trying to make content. I'm going to give you a schedule for that. I'm going to give you a schedule for a typical 9 to 5 job. And I'm gonna show you what my content creator, full-time boss bitch schedule looks like now. But first, you need to know something. So I've been a content creator since 2013. I had a very short stint with going full-time as a creator in 2015, but it wasn't until May of 2018 that I was actually able to sustain a full-time living off of just purely content creation. This means that for a long time I was working a job while also trying to make YouTube videos, stream on Twitch, and manage all the social media, and trying to keep track of everything in that lifestyle is very, very difficult. I worked a lot of jobs, from starting as a streamer in 2013 to being full-time in May of 2018. But the one that was really transformative for me was working for Amazon Flex, which was delivering for Amazon. And what was really cool about it was a gig economy job, which meant that I was able to work as much or as little as I wanted, make my own schedule, and make sure that I was still being able to pay the bills and get content finished. This was actually a really good job. It was $18 an hour plus tips. If you need a job right now, you might consider looking at Amazon Flex. Google it and you'll find a link. But I really knew that even though I had a really nice job working for Amazon and it was comfortable, my real goal and the lifestyle that I really wanted for myself was to be a full-time content creator, and I wanted to work towards that goal. In order to make a schedule that fits your life and helps you get where you want to go, you have to know exactly where you want to go. I see this problem all the time with my stream coaching clients. Whenever I ask them, what do you want to achieve? What are your goals? A lot of them say, I don't know. But if you don't know, then you're not going to do the things that you need to do to get where you want to be. A big mistake a lot of people make here is that they set goals for states of being as opposed to true goals. So what do I mean by that? A state of being is an emotional state. It's like saying, I want to be happy or I want to be successful. And so you think that if I want to achieve the goal of being happy or being successful, I have to make all of these moves and make all of these changes in order to reach that goal. but those goals are emotional states of being. You can feel happy no matter where you are in your journey. You can feel successful no matter where you are in your journey. So after we figured out our state of being, that's whenever we can set our actual goals. Setting a goal is going to help you visualize what you want and get you really excited about achieving it. That's the entire reason that you want to set the goal in the first place. And we're going to make sure that the goals that we set are positive, immediate, concrete, and specific. We want our goals to be positive because we want to move towards becoming a better person, not away from being this lesser version of ourselves. We want our goals to be immediate because we want to start working on them right now, not someday. If a goal is something that you want to do someday I want to be Twitch partner, then that's a goal that's on the back burner and you shouldn't be using your mental energy towards it right now. The next thing we want to do is make sure that our goal is concrete. This means that it has a specific achievement set and we will know whenever we've achieved that thing. This is another reason why you don't want to make a state of being a goal, because if you say, I want to be successful, well, what the heck, Sally? How are you going to know whenever you hit that? So the next thing we're going to do is make sure our goal is specific. There's going to be a what, a when, and a where. For some of you, your goal is going to be you want to get partnered on Twitch by May 1st of 2021 so that you can finally post your purple check mark on Twitter. But how do you get there? And how do you get there, especially if you are already working full-time or maybe you're a full-time parent? You want to make sure that your schedule supports the thing that you want to achieve. My goal was I want to be a full-time content creator, and looking back now, it wasn't really that specific. I didn't have a date that I set for it. I just wanted it to happen as soon as possible. And so this is what I did. So now that we know our goals, we can actually set up our calendar and we can make sure that everything in that calendar is ultimately going to help us grow towards that bigger goal. We don't want anything to go in the calendar that's going to distract us from the things that we want to achieve. Speaking of calendar, welcome to my computer. I know this is totally breaking your immersion because it sounds and looks completely different, so I'm really sorry for that, but I'm going to show you the schedule that actually made me a full-time streamer. There's a couple of things that you need to know if you're ever going to make a schedule in your life. Human beings have something called performance requirements. These are the requirements that you need in order to operate effectively. You need to eat, you need to drink, you need to sleep. There's also something called Parkinson's law, which means that work is going to expand or contract to fit the time allotted for it. So if you don't set boundaries on your work, you will work 16-hour days and they are the worst. Performance load is another thing you need to worry about, which is essentially the idea that if you have a million billion tasks going on, you can't focus on them individually enough to be able to create good results. And then the other thing you need to worry about, where my notes, are your energy cycles. So every one of us have natural times in our day that we have more energy or we're lacking in energy. And you need to know that about yourself. When do you feel the most energetic and ready to work, and when do you feel the least energetic? Because your energy cycles can dictate your schedule. I'm gonna do all of this from the perspective of me whenever my goal was to go full-time as a streamer, and I also had a full-time job. And what we're going to start with is planning our boundaries and our breaks, because of everything that you just learned, it's really important to have those boundaries and to make sure that there are places in your schedule where you are not working. For as long as I can remember, my day off has been Monday, so I'm not going to put anything in there. But I also want to set boundaries on the time that I am going to work. I'm not going to work past 8 p.m. on any day. I'm also not going to work before 9 a.m. on any day. This way I know that if something happens before 9 a.m. or after 8 p.m., I have to leave it for the next day, and I have that energy in my mind to be able to justify relaxation. The next thing we do is plug in our first priority based on what we want to achieve, what we want our future to be, but we also keep our present in mind. So for me, this would mean streaming. I wanted to be a full-time streamer, and so now I'm going to plug in streaming into this calendar. The way that I like to plug streaming in is I like to make sure that it happens back to back to back days, because I really believe that whenever someone is allowed to watch your stream one day, sometimes they'll kind of lurk it and wait for you to come back the next day versus having to remember your entire schedule. So I've got my stream days plugged in, but there is a massive benefit that I had here that those of you who are working a 9-to-5 job are not going to have. And that is that my job allowed me to choose my time that I worked. Not all of you are going to have that opportunity. And so this isn't going to be available for you, but I have a 9-to-5 schedule that I'll pull up in just a second. My next biggest priority was my actual job that paid the bills, so I'm going to plug that in next. Oh my god, that's so ugly. Is orange like the worst color ever? Something that you need to know about this Amazon job was that all of the blocks that I put here, those ugly orange ones, were ones that I told myself I could work inside of. It doesn't mean that I always got a shift, and sometimes it meant that I would work and interrupt my stream. Sometimes I'd have to start a stream late or actually leave a stream in order to go to work to pay my bills. I also needed to put YouTube in here because it was such a huge component of helping me grow my stream. And so I would always make sure that I was filming and editing at one point 4 videos a week. This is already a very full schedule, but I had the benefit of having a gig economy job, which meant that I could also check social media, be in my Discord, keep track of what everybody else in the community was doing. And you don't really get that opportunity a lot of times if you're working a 9-to-5 job. And this is why I think if your true goal is you really want to be a content creator, now is the time to freaking make it happen. You can jump into something like a gig economy job, driving for Uber, working for Amazon, or doing something else that's going to help you pay the bills without having to take such a huge chunk of your time. But some of y'all just want to work your 9-to-5 job and do streaming on the side. And in that situation, the schedule looks a little bit like this: absolute chaos. So let's say we have a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday. Some of you are going to have 30 minutes of travel time. Some of you will be less or more. We budgeted in 30 minutes for this. We took 1 full day off because you need that time to rest and recuperate and spend time with your loved ones. And then we also make sure that we're prioritizing streaming and YouTube, because for most of you right now, your discoverability is really bad, and YouTube is going to help you build up a really solid discoverability for your stream. But something that's really important here is what happens on Monday and Tuesday nights, and that is your project time. Most streamers I know only focus on streaming and social media, and that can be good, but something you need to know as a streamer is that what you're doing is consistent, right? And if we're constantly streaming and we're constantly playing games and doing our thing, that's great. Showing up consistently is important, but we also need to have something that ignites the buzz of who we are and what we do. And this is why having bigger projects that you launch once every few months is going to make sure that you stay top of mind in the community. If you're really struggling figuring out these big projects for yourself and thinking of what's going to push you to the next level, I've got a workbook filled with the 6 exercises that help me figure that stuff out. There's a link for it down below if you need it. So when I was working a 9-to-5 job and trying to make it as a full-time streamer, this is what my schedule looked like. But this is what my schedule looks like today. And the only reason that I was able to make it to this schedule is because I prioritized the lifestyle that I wanted for myself and I worked towards it. So now I still have Mondays off, but I have a much longer morning routine. I have a lot more time for those projects that are going to build me up to be successful in the future. I also prioritized starting coaching and creating my ebook. And those 2 things really helped me get to the point of being a full-time content creator, because y'all, honestly, without them, I would not be here. I did not make enough money for my content alone to be able to be in the position that I'm in now. So I have meetings and project days, Tuesdays and Saturdays. I also have a ton of time to be able to get out YouTube videos and podcasts. And if I wasn't able to be a full-time creator, I wouldn't be able to create all of the content that I'm able to make now. And the only reason I'm able to make all of that content now is because I'm monetized very early. So the process for creating all of these schedules was the exact same. Step 1, plug in your boundaries and your breaks. Step 2, plug in your number one most important responsibility that's going to get you to your goal. Step 3, plug in your adult needs. Step 4, plug in your future projects that are going to lead to your success and get you to the next level. Step 5, plug in your consistent content priorities. And step 6, make sure every day you are posting on social media whenever you can fit that in. This leads me to the next honest truth about content creation and working a full-time job is that some of you are really gonna struggle because you don't have the time available to you to be able to accomplish the things that you need to get yourself to the next level. And that means that it's gonna take you way longer to get where you wanna be, which really freaking sucks. This really means that you're gonna have to sacrifice for a while to get to where you wanna be, and that sacrifice might mean sacrificing sleep or your ability to pay your bills or your time with your friends or spending time with your family. And that's not an easy decision for any of us to make, but it's one that you have to make if you want to get yourself to the next level. This is also why it's so difficult to climb out of poverty, because you have to do the things that most people are not willing to do to get to where you want to be. I sacrificed so much to become a full-time streamer and now become this businesswoman and to get myself to where I want to be. I didn't hang out with friends almost ever. I only visited my family like 3 times a year, and I have this reputation of being a person who all they care about is business, because in order to get myself to the next level, that's who I had to be. I guess some people might think that I've sacrificed my reputation. So I've sacrificed a lot to be a full-time streamer and now a full-time businesswoman. And what's funny about this is a lot of people think that I'm just balling. My ebook has done well and I've been coaching, but I'm really not. I'm still struggling. And if I want to give this awesome lifestyle to my family, if I want them to be able to have the freedom that I want them to have, maybe I have a schedule, cool, but I haven't figured out how to get to the next level yet, and I don't know what it's gonna take. I thought building a business was gonna prevent me from ever having to worry about money again, but I haven't gotten to the level where my family is free, and I also didn't plan for a pandemic, and now I'm stressed just like I would be stressed if I was working a 9-to-5 job. My schedule has empowered my content to make me full-time, to get me to that next level. But if I want to get my entire family there and my future children and create a legacy for myself, I have to be smarter than I've ever been. I think I need to actually set my goal, and I think I have to be public about it, and I have to give myself a timeline. Maybe I should do that in the next video. I guess click on this one if you would like to hear the beginning of my story and why I care about all of this. I've also got an entire playlist up here if you want to learn about streaming on Twitch. I'll see you in the next video.